The Toronto Raptors. They won 4 straight over the favored Milwaukee Bucks, and they will play Golden State. The Raptors were led all series by Kawhi Leonard, who many assumed to be a one-and-done in Toronto. After Game 6, that win that won the series, the president of the Raptors, Masai Ujiri, said to the assembled crowd, quote, "He's the best player in the league, and we're happy he's in Toronto," unquote. Wilbon, does making the finals change Kawhi's future in Toronto?
It's part of it, Tony. It's part of an evolving situation. And being in Toronto a lot over the past couple of weeks and talking to Masai Ujiri and others around and in Toronto, man, I mean, I get the feeling that Toronto's got a real chance. The Raptors have a real chance. Tony, when you stand there and you hear an entire country serenade you, and they serenaded, and it was sincere and it was authentic, and Kawhi mentioned Ujiri by name. And there's something at play here. There's a romance, a legitimate one. I'm not saying I know where he's going because I don't. Nobody knows where he's going. But, Tony, it's impossible to be in Toronto on a game night and watch him play and the reaction between him and them and not think, really? You want to leave this for the uncertainty of even the Clippers who are on the uptick? I can see the other thing happening. I can.
So I understand why Ujiri would say this. He wants to keep him.
Of course.
Toronto made the biggest trade in the NBA last year at the end of it, when they took DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry had been bad in the playoffs. Toronto was getting swept year after year, and they said to DeRozan, "We're trading you. We're going to pick up Kawhi Leonard. Even though Kawhi Leonard is going to be a free agent, we may only have him for 1 year." The result is they have gone further than they have ever gone before. So if you ask me the question, does it change his status? What I would say to you is when LeBron went back to Cleveland and won, the people in Cleveland said it's okay to go now. Toronto's never been this far. I think the people in Toronto would look at Kawhi Leonard and say, if you want to go home to California, we understand, and thank you for helping us get over the hump that we could never get over before.
That's the second speech. That's the concession speech.
Well,
politicians nor athletes look for the concession first. They look to win first, Tony. He's not LeBron, and Toronto ain't Cleveland. And again, spending some time there the past couple of weeks while this is unfolding, I don't know, but I feel that this must be in Kawhi Leonard's head and heart. You cannot be there on any game night and not sense the love affair, a very touching one. Don't know what it's going to mean. But by the way, Masai Ujiri better be executive of the year because he took a gamble on Kawhi Leonard. He had no promise, and Leonard appreciates that because he's told people that. So, Tony, I don't know where it's going, man, but it's fascinating. All right, Tone, I'm going to try to elicit a pick out of you that's different from everybody else's. The Las Vegas odds makers want no part of the Toronto Raptors in the finals, just like they wanted no part of the Raptors against Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Warriors have been off for 9 days, which suggests rust, at least in Game 1. Kevin Durant will not be walking through that door, not immediately anyway. And the Raptors, led by the wondrous Kawhi Leonard, are easily the feel-good underdog story of these playoffs. So let's get to it, big fella. You're going to man up, and you're going to pick the only team in basketball with a home country advantage, aren't you?
Number one, no, I'm not going to do that. And number two, I thought you didn't believe in that Vegas junk. Look,
I don't.
I'm going to pick Golden State. I'm going to say that Golden State is going to take one of the first 2 games in Toronto and get home field back. I thought that they would have more problems with Milwaukee because Durant, I don't think Durant's playing again. I don't.
You and I are sort of on that.
And I think that Antetokounmpo could not be guarded without Durant, whereas I think Kawhi Leonard, who's been great in the playoffs, he's averaged 31 a game throughout the whole of the playoffs. I think Draymond Green or Klay Thompson, I think they can get with him a little bit more easily. So I will take Golden State. And in terms of feel-good stories, I think the way Golden State went through Houston and the way they went through Portland without Durant, to me, you're not an underdog, an overdog feel-good story.
Well, it's certainly a feel-good story as well. Tony, Golden State would have swept Milwaukee. Because by now you should have seen that if Toronto can build a wall and just say to Antetokounmpo, that's nice, you're a nice guy. Come back with a jump shot, and we'll talk about this again sometime later. But Toronto, Tony, has more diversity in that lineup. And if there's a night where Kawhi Leonard doesn't have a good game, and he's only had one of those nights, they played without him 22 times. 15 times for what we now call, whatever that thing, load management, whatever it is. They've played without him. They understand how to do it. They play differently when he's not there. But he's going to be there. And Tony, let me tell you this.
He's a great player.
Even if Kevin Durant was there, Kevin Durant is not better than Kawhi Leonard. Neither one is better. They're both two of the 4, maybe 3 best players in the NBA. And if Kawhi Leonard's out there, they got a chance. Now, I think Golden State 2 will win. I'm going to say Golden State in 6.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be like you and wake up every morning at 10 o'clock to watch the highlights and say, oh, my God, I'm shocked. I'm shocked Toronto's in this. I can't believe it. That's your deal, not mine.
They may be in it. They may be in it. Okay. The other team is better, and the other team is going for history. They're going for 3 in a row and 4 out of 5, and they're going for dynasty. And don't discount that. Don't discount that motivation.
I just told you, Golden State, I think,
the Houston Chronicle.
Yes. Where do we begin? Watch party? No, we had Game of Thrones watch parties the last couple of weeks, but we have not had playoff game watch parties. These guys get enough of us, so they'll be watching the game on their own.
I asked Andrew the same thing. Obviously, you guys aren't rooting for anyone per se, but would it make things a little easier if the Raptors wrap things up tonight so you can go ahead with a stricter game plan and all the things that come with knowing your opponent?
Not really, because if it goes 7, there's still a few days to prepare, and we're already doing preparation behind the scenes for both teams. And the players don't need more than a couple of days of game planning, film sessions, that kind of stuff. So it really makes no difference.
What was it like to see Al and how much?
Yeah, it's great to see.
You have with him?
Great to see Al. Haven't seen him in a while. I know he's struggled with his health. And, one of the first things that I did when I became coach here was I brought Al in and to visit with our team, along with Tom Masheri, Nate Thurman came in as well. I think I might be missing somebody. We had 3 or 4 of our past glorious Warrior history, and Al obviously is the guy who's connected all the dots, and so he came in and talked to our team 4 or 5 years ago. So everybody on our team is fond of Al, and it's great to see his face here in the facility today.
Did he give you any guidance when you became a coach?
Oh yeah, he gave me advice, and he's seen and done it all in the NBA, both as a player and as a coach, and he was very helpful that first year. And more than anything, it's just fun to connect the past with the present, and we've tried to remind our players constantly of our history here, and our players have done a great job of creating history of their own. But you see the photos on the wall and past teams, and so we're very proud of our heritage.
Was this planned for him to stop by today, or?
I'm not sure. I think Raymond set it up.
When's the last time he was at a practice?
Oh, it's been a couple of years, I think.
What was your impressions of Jordan's play since he's not had this opportunity?
It's been great. I thought Jordan, the last few weeks of the regular season, when he got his opportunities, made the most of them. And I think he's playing at a really high level now, giving us exactly what we need: speed, energy, athleticism, intelligent play offensively, drive and kick, move the ball. He's been fantastic, and I'm really happy for him because it was a tough regular season for him, and he's finishing the season well, and I think this bodes well for his future.
I understand there's obviously some uncertainty in March with injuries. A few guys are able to play, but given that, what kind of, initial feelings?
Oh, for the finals, he's going to play. We'll see how it all shakes out. It depends on matchups and health and the rest. But even if everybody's healthy, Jordan will find his way onto the court. he's earned that. He's played his way into that, and he's helped us win games. And so I'm really confident putting him out there. Well, we're keeping our routine of practicing and working in the mornings, and then it's just nice not to be traveling. So going out to dinner with my wife, just kind of relaxing, which is nice. It's good to the playoffs in a way are even though they're stress filled. You get these breaks in between series where you're not traveling, you're not stepping onto an airplane, and you have multiple nights without a game. It's almost unheard of after the last 7-8 months. So you take advantage of it, you enjoy it, and you get ready for the next one.
Just when it comes to that time, do you have a follow-up? When it comes to that time and the anticipation for weeks, you guys are days away from going to the finals. I know you've been there before, but does that anticipation still give you butterflies in the stomach? Is that time pretty in-depth?
It's different. I think the first time 4 years ago, it was almost like we couldn't believe it. We're going to the finals, and now it's not like we come to expect it, but we're veterans of this experience and this run, and our guys know how to finish games. They know how to win playoff series, and so there's a sense of confidence going into every round. There's still a sense of joy and accomplishment getting to the finals. It's so hard to do, and I think this week is a combination of enjoying the moment and preparing for what's next.
Do you feel a certain kinship with Quinn just because he occupies a similar role in this team that you did on those
Sure.
games?
Yeah, I've talked about this in the past. I always relate to the bench players better than I do to the starters, and Quinn especially, because as a shooter, very difficult to play that role when you're not getting consistent minutes. You play 5 games in a row of 2-3 minutes, and go 0 for 1 5 times. You feel like you're in a huge slump, but that's 3 minutes of play for Steph Curry. Steph's 0 for 5, it doesn't matter, but it's a different role when you're a bench guy, and so there's a real trick to maintaining your confidence level, your conditioning level, your rhythm, your timing through all those times when you're not in the rotation. It's a very hard job, but if you can do it, you've got a place in the league for a long time because coaches really value that.
Talk about the break. It's like 20 days between home games.
Is that right?
I mean, that didn't ever happen in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. I didn't think of it that way.
You don't have home court advantage in the next series. It's
Right.
massive break, literally 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if that's ever happened.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There's obviously so much of a focus on getting guys healthy physically. How important do you think is the emotional break in between to allow guys' brains to clear up from what they've already been through throughout the season and in the playoffs?
Well, we want to give them a break emotionally, but we also want to keep them on edge. So that's the fine line we're walking. We had a really good practice today, really sharp, and we needed it. Yesterday we scrimmaged. It was a little loose. It was we were trying to blow it out, just have some fun, get our rhythm and our timing, get a lot of shots up in the flow of a 5-on-5. Today was much more precise, and our players were dialed in. We had great work today, so I'm really pleased with the way practice has gone this week. Tomorrow we'll have the day off, and then we need a couple more good days, Monday and Tuesday, before we take off back east.
Steve, with the national narrative until KD gets back seems to be a little bit that no matter which team you play, they're going to have size and length edge on you guys. That's going to cause a problem. You sort of figured out answers to these things all along. Are you comfortable with your options and your potential solutions?
Well, we'd like to have everybody healthy, that's for sure. But if not, our guys have done a great job of finding ways to win, and we have a very deep team. We have a lot of guys who have played in the championship round. Bogut, Jordan Bell, Looney, guys have all done a really good job.
LeBron seems to be hiding in the cracks with most people. But he's been very productive for you.
Looney's a hell of a basketball player, and to me, I said this the other day. He's one of our cornerstones now. Going forward, I expect him to be, one of our mainstays over the coming years, and I hope his next contract reflects that. I'd love to see him get a long-term deal here and get paid what he deserves, because he's a hell of a basketball player and he's earned everything. So we're going to rely on him in the finals and hopefully for many years to come.
Coach Bogut said that he thinks last series against Portland might have been the best coaching job you've seen from you since you've been here. I know the nature of your job is kind of to look forward to the next series, the next game, but do you ever get a chance to kind of reflect on your own personal coaching decisions, not team success, but your own kind of things?
First of all, Bogues is probably just buttering me up to get a little more playing time in the finals. I appreciate that sentiment, that thought. I think where we are as a team, it's a real advantage as a coach to have the continuity that we've had over the last 5 years and the success. There's a deeper level of trust and confidence among the group. And so when Bogut says that I coached a good series, or what was he talking about? Was he talking about the Portland series? I would turn right around and say the players had a great series because of their trust in one another and their trust in the game plan. And when we put our game plan together, we ask the players what they think. And so it's a collaboration, and it's a real advantage. I don't know how many teams in the league can say they have a genuine collaboration, but I felt that in Chicago as a player. I felt that in San Antonio as a player. When you have a combination of talent and really good human beings on the roster, and a good coaching staff who knows what's going on, and you collaborate, it's a pretty powerful force. So that's how I look at it.